Hey, this is Jeffrey Brown and Market for Yourself podcast. Today, I'm bringing on Mason Pilkinton. He's our guest today, and he's a real estate investor and entrepreneur. And so we just want to let Mason introduce himself and tell you a little bit about him, what he does and how he does it. So Mason, tell us a little bit about your backstory and what do you do?
Awesome. I appreciate that. Yeah. So I am in commercial real estate. So I do multifamily and everything in around that area, around that realm. I do single family every now and then, but predominantly just multifamily. Started 9 months ago, and ever since then, just been taking off.
Okay, great. So is your focus mostly on commercial? As
Yes.
opposed to, okay. So tell us about some of the kind of the commercial deals that you go after and how do you get them?
Awesome. Great question. So I go after most of my deals I get from brokers. Some of them I get off market just through Facebook leads, as in joining Facebook groups and just talking to people around that. Or just from local buddies, from people in my network that are saying, hey, like I'm not from this area. This isn't really in my wheelhouse, but here you go. Check this out. Let me know if you like it. And just mostly through those.
So how did you get started in the real estate investment industry?
Yeah, so I mean, my mom's always been around real estate, and that kind of helped introduce me into real estate. She started one of the largest companies that mentored people and taught people about real estate called Lifestyles Unlimited. And yeah, so that kind of got me around it. And ever since then, I've always been talking to people, always been around people in the real estate industry, but I never really picked it up until about 9-10 months ago. In August of 2021 at that point. Yeah, August 2021 is whenever I started. That's whenever I really picked up on commercial and really stuck with it.
Okay. So I know a lot of people have certain beliefs about real estate investment and you have to have a bunch of money or you have to have a lot of knowledge. So what is the biggest myth about being a real estate investor?
Yeah, so I hear tons of people my age and really any age just saying that I don't have enough money to get it started or just stuff along those lines. And in reality, you don't need money. You have to realize that there's different scales of real estate. So whenever you're first starting, you're going to be the sweat equity. You're going to be the one that comes on, does all the work. And then there's the people that hit a certain spot. They just have the money. They want it to work for them. And those are the people that you work with and that actually supply the money for you to go out and do these deals and make money and get involved in real estate without anything or very, very little.
That is sort of enlightening because I think that, even when I started in real estate 21 years ago, my thing was like, I need to save X amount of dollars so I can actually get into the business and start advertising and do what I need to do so that I could bring in leads and find customers and so forth and find properties. But so tell the audience, how do you actually got started? And what did you do to start to generate leads for actual properties and networking? What did you do to get started in this business?
Yeah, so I started by going to local meetups. So like I'm from Houston, so I'd go to like the local North Houston REI meetup. And just go to different REI meetups. You can go to Facebook, look up, join the groups, and there's always something going on. If you're in a big city, always something going on. And I just started going to the events, getting around people that were in the industry, and then just leveraging their knowledge and leveraging the people that I knew to kind of bring deals to me and say, hey, I'm good at underwriting. I'm good at raising capital. You need capital raised, come to me. If you need help underwriting a property, I'll underwrite it for you and just walk you through it and just kind of answer any questions, stuff like that. So that's how I got really started, is by just building a network and going out, building that network and then leveraging that to get deals, etc.
So it really wasn't about the money at the time. It was really about, so what is it? I think that for you sound like, well, I'm just going to go out and meet people and network, and then I'm going to make something happen. But a lot of people feel like they don't know enough, or they don't have enough skill or knowledge about what to do next. Can you kind of shine some light on that and tell the listeners about, okay, what do you do to make sure that you feel like you know enough?
Yeah, most definitely. So Yeah, that's a good question because I have friends that are like, hey, like, how do I get started? And I have two mentors, people that I mentee, and they ask me the same question. They're like, dude, what do I do? I don't know anything. And I just say, hey, go to local meetups, and just get out there and like get out there and just say, be honest. Just say, hey, I'm looking to get into real estate. I'm not sure where to start, and just start talking to
Mhm.
people and just build that. Just start a conversation, and the 99% of people will help you.
So you just learn as you go.
Yeah,
So
just learn as you go.
a lot of times I've been to, I used to go to a lot of networking meetings when I was in that business. And I find that most people were out there looking for a business. You go
Mhm.
to a networking meeting and everybody's like, oh, you got any leads? You know anybody that's willing to sell a property? I mean, for me, it was sort of a frustrating um, events to go
Yeah.
to. Everybody's looking, no money, looking for a deal, and they're asking you about what you know. And is that your experience when you go to a lot of these REI meetings and RIA meetings and so forth?
Yeah, so there's different scales. So there's different scales of the meetings, as I would say, is that, for example, there's local ones and there's like ones where you travel to, or bigger events that are held by bigger companies, bigger people, etc. The more money I found, the more money you spend to get into those, the more you invest in yourself by paying for those events and going out to them, the more they pay off. 100% worth it. But for the local meetups, if you're just trying to just get out there, just get in the industry and kind of like build a local network, then yeah, I mean, there are some people that will go out and do that. Like, hey, like they'll sell you a pitch right away.
Right.
Say, hey, you have something, like anything you're trying to sell, or I'm trying to buy, what do you have for me, or stuff like that. But for me, I've always kept, you just kind of, you want to have that in the back of your head, and you want to go to the events, be like, hey, I'm here. I'm not here for any deals. I'm here just to build the network and just make friends. Honestly, just make friends in the industry and see how I can help them. So my main thing is I'll go to them and I'll say, hey, what are you having? Like, what issues are you having in your company that I may be of value? Or, and if not, most of the time, that's how I did at start. But then I kind of switched over to where I said, hey, how can I help you achieve your goals sooner? And that always opens the person up to talking. And then you just kind of fill in, and as they're talking, just kind of say, hey, I know this guy, or hey, I know this, and I can help you out there, and just add value in absolutely any way you can.
So basically, you would invest some money in yourself to go to those bigger events to meet the more people that have been in the business longer, have more knowledge than you, have a bigger network than you, but those sort of are paid events. Is that correct?
Yeah. So some of them are, most of them are, but then there are some ones that are free, or like 200, $300.
Right,
But the people you'll meet there are going to be the people that are willing to pay that money to get in and get around those people.
right. Okay, great. Yeah, that's some good information because I think that a lot of people want to be in the real estate business, but they just don't know where to start, or they feel like they're just not knowledgeable enough. And basically, you just saying, just hey, I want to learn and just get around people and network.
Yeah, just get around people, network, and it'll just start flowing. And also just go look up YouTube videos and everything. Go to YouTube University and just watch everything on YouTube you can find on it.
So my next question is going to be like, what's the most important lesson that you've learned over the last year in the real estate industry?
Yeah. So most important lesson is I don't know anything. That's kind of the mindset I have to go into everything.
Right.
As in I know what I know, but I don't know what I don't. So, and it's kind of a teeter-totter scale on that end. But kind of just going in and realizing that, like, even whenever I'm ready and I'm doing these deals, that there's something I'm not knowing that I could know more. So kind of like that eagerness to know more, but also just networking, and kind of just realizing that your network is everything. You go to a network event, you don't have any deals or you're messing up on something. You talk to somebody, they say, hey, have you figured out, or have you ever thought about getting like 8 units or whatever, like smaller multis with owner financing, or in this area, or have you used this website to go and find out where the demographics are moving, etc.
Right. So if somebody was starting out today, what kind of advice would you give them to get them started?
Yeah, I would say just kind of go in and just watching YouTube videos. Like get out, just instead of spending time watching Netflix, if you want, play on your phone, but put something on the TV, as in go on YouTube, look up, hey, like local, like just real estate, look at single family real estate. If you want to get started, it's always a good place to get started. It's a lot less margins, a lot less to know. And just get started in like fix and flips, or just get started in wholesaling, stuff like that. And just look up the videos and kind of educate yourself on that. Watch movies on it, real estate shows, read books, all that.
So who's been your most important mentor since you got into this industry?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I've had a few, I still have a few. And I would say my mom's been a very big one, but I would say most definitely would be Tim Mai. He's one of my mentors local in Houston. And just watching, and it just comes down to the network. Like he is the person, he's a connector. He's an absolute awesome man. Like he puts so much stuff, like so much effort into people, and requests nothing of it except for them to succeed. And so that's one thing I found, is that you just surround yourself by the right people. But Tim Mai, most definitely.
Right. So I'm hearing that you got to be in the right circle, got to have a network of people, and you got to want to invest some time in yourself. Is there any particular books or any other type of material that you recommend somebody go and read and listen to?
Yeah. So to start, if you have no knowledge prior of anything about real estate, I'd say start. Or if you just want to invest in yourself, start with Rich Dad Poor Dad. It's the basis of all pretty much financial learning. Just start in Rich Dad Poor Dad, and then go over to real estate side. Then I would say if you want to do apartment syndication made easy by Vinny Chopra. And then there's just other little miscellaneous books, but predominantly Rich Dad Poor Dad would be a main one. And then Bigger Pockets, of course, is something I recommend everybody to listen to.
Yeah. It seems like I know you have a lot of different tools that you use, mental tools. What's your favorite productivity hack for people that are in the real estate investing business?
Yeah, I would say it's going to be time blocking. So it's going to be setting my time out, like saying, hey, every like 15 minutes or something, or every time, like make it a mental recognition thing, to where I'm saying, hey, what am I doing? Am I doing something that's going to make me better? It's going to have a lasting effect in 5-10 years, or am I just sitting around just doing something that's wasting time? But really just time blocking like every 30 minutes, or even an hour, and just say, hey, I need to get these 2 things done. This takes 5 minutes. This takes 10. This takes 20.
Right.
Just kind of going from there.
So you kind of, is it all business, or is it like, I got to take a break at times? I mean, you've been on calls all day, you're reading the books, you're in the videos, you're watching these videos. So is it just all business, or it's like, I do need a break? And when you take that break, what do you do like for yourself, just to take a break for a second?
Yeah, so everybody's going to be different. But for me, I'd say predominantly it's just going outside, getting some fresh air, playing with my dog, or just going out, enjoying times with friends in the evenings, or whenever I can. So sometimes, like I think once a week we're doing where me and my buddies go out, we play soccer, and just really just getting out, doing what I enjoy, and having this time set for me to do that every day. And as a reward for the previous day's behavior and previous day's work, etc., stuff like that.
Yeah, I tend to do the same thing. I play golf, and so once a week I'll go out and I'll play golf, and I'll normally take a break at the end of the day, maybe at 5 o'clock. I'll go to the golf course and just putt a few balls and chip a few chips, and just to get outside, to break the monotony of the business, because it could get to you after you sit here that desk for 4, 5, 6 hours on the phone, going through video, it'll get to you. So yeah, that's a good thing. You have to break that up. At some point, you have to break that up.
Yeah, and then also I'd say also just putting some parts of it outside, as in like just going outside or doing something like getting some fresh air while you're working. Like if you have a call, go sit outside in the sun, take the call, stuff along those lines, unless it's really cold.
At what time of the day do you feel like you get your best work done?
Yeah, that's going to be a pretty easy answer for me. It's going to be easy either early in the morning, like very early, or very late at night. So like from 2 to 6. That's whenever I get
Right.
the most work done.
Okay. Yeah, because for me, I'm more like late at night.
Yeah,
There's no distractions. There's nothing, nobody to talk to, nobody, nothing
it's
to
just you.
watch. It's just me. So my work gets done best at night, but everybody gets to find their own, peak hours for themselves.
Yeah.
Um, what tool that you use that you feel like is like, I can't do without that tool? What tool would that be?
As in for the real estate side or the entrepreneur side?
Well, we can do both. Real estate
Okay.
side first and then entrepreneur side second.
Okay. I'll say for entrepreneur side, um, tool would just kind of be like going and looking at my local, if I were wanting to start a business, and whenever I do start a business, I go and I look up like the local what's it called? Like the local, I just go look at the demographics pretty much of the local area and see what's lacking. So for example, if there's a lack of restaurants in an area, and just kind of go about that ways and looking up different demographics and checking those out. But then just really demographics is going to be the same for real estate, looking at the demographics of the areas that I'm investing. So for example, and I'm from Houston, a very good place to invest is going to be on the border. So it's going to be on near Harlingen, Brownsville, all those places down there are absolutely booming right now, where I can go and get a duplex constructed for 50 grand and like sell it or rent it out for 800, 900 a month, which is absolutely cash flowing. So
Right.
there's so many different things but main thing I would say is just looking at the demographics, doing the research. So any sites that help that out would be the main thing.
Is there any one site that you go to, like your go-to tool, like when you're doing your research and you're trying to find value or properties? Is there any particular tool?
To find those,
Yes.
sorry, it cut out a little. Yeah. So for example, you can use Bricadia. That's one. Another one is going to be I think it's AA. I can't remember off the top of my head. But it's like AA something, and it's a company that pretty much does all the research for you. So for example, I can go to the website and it shows me exactly what's coming in and what's coming in where, as in all the infrastructure that's being built. And so it'll say, hey, there's total of 350 apartment buildings being built in Houston. These are the ones that are on the market or that are being like rented out currently. These are the ones that are being manufactured, like built, and these are the ones that are in projections, as in they're just talking about it and stuff
Right.
like that.
So
And
you, so that gives you the demographics of where they're building and what's growing and
yes,
what areas to invest in.
exactly.
Yeah, that's great. And the name of that tool is what?
I believe it's AA. It's like AA something. I forgot. I can't think of it now though.
Okay.
But
Well,
yeah,
I'm sure if somebody needs, they can get a hold of you and you can
yeah.
give them that
Just
information.
reach out and I'll give it to them.
If you were to start a new business right now, what would it be?
So that's tough. I mean, you can go something small, something that's like a more service basis, and something that's just local, like a carpet cleaning business, a roofing business where you go not putting the roof on, but cleaning the roof, like power washing, stuff along those lines. Those are all good. Any of the boring businesses make tons of money. So
Right.
and that's just the facts behind it. Like if I were to go and put an ice machine, something that creates just makes ice and puts it in a bag, those can make shoot like 100,000 a year, some of them,
Right.
because you're paying for water, they're paying for frozen water. But there's that. And then there's, if you want to get big, then I'd say crypto is going to be like crypto staking, creating a fund around that. You can stake crypto and just kind of be the bank in a way, and that or real estate.
Right. So it seems like you've gathered a lot of knowledge in a short time. What's the one thing that you would want to learn now?
one thing I'd want to learn now would kind of be just becoming more of an expert in my industry. So I guess kind of that, and along with just mentally learning how to handle different situations and overcome different barriers that I may have, and finding ways around them to make them not barriers but stepping stones. So
Okay. So that one thing, if we could pinpoint, if we can like isolate it,
mhm.
is there a specific skill that you would want to learn or tool that you would want to learn? Or is it like, because that's kind of a big,
Yeah,
big, broad topic, but
I would have to say just kind of going and that's a tough one. I'm not too sure, honestly, other than just kind of going and getting the just I guess just kind of getting around the mental barriers. I don't really know what that would incur. Maybe like kind of just rewiring my brain to see things in different ways.
so mindset stuff.
Yeah, just mindset stuff, pretty much.
Okay. That's cool. I mean, I think we eat every day. We
Yeah,
feed ourselves all types of food, but not many of us feed our minds every day. So
most definitely.
to feed your mind every day is really important because you need to feed your mind just like you need to feed your body. So I agree that mindset is super, super important because even if you have all the skills in the world, but you don't have the mindset to actually take action, then what good is it?
Yeah,
So,
exactly. And on top of that, yeah, mindset's going to be you can go and get into business about real estate or get into business about cryptocurrency or any of that, or any business, and you'll only have a set skill in that business. Whereas if
right.
you go and you build what's in here and you build your mindset, that's going to carry over to every aspect of your life, from relationships to business to just personal, like everything. So.
So what is one of the questions that you wished I've asked you that I didn't ask?
Um, I'd say you covered all the basic ones, and all the really good questions as well. I mean, there's not too much else I can think of besides just I guess how to reach out to me. But other than that, I mean, there really is. I can't really think of anything, honestly.
Okay. So if we're gonna put this out, we're gonna have this taken care of and put it out and let the subscribers listen to it. And I think they're gonna get some valuable information. I think you've given some value in this interview.
I hope so.
So where can the listeners find you, or how can they find you online?
Yeah, so they can find me through MASON_PILKINTON. That's going to be my Instagram,
Okay.
Mason_Pilkinton. And then Facebook's just Mason Pilkinton. They can either
Okay.
DM me on both of those, reach out through that.
All right. I mean, I enjoyed the time that we had today, and I think that we've answered a lot of questions for people who just like feel like they're not enough, or they don't know enough, or they don't have enough money. All of those different things that stops them from actually getting involved. So hopefully they get some real value from this podcast that we put on today. And then hey, Mason, I'd like to invite you back, and we're going to go a little bit deeper into the investing side, like maybe techniques, raising the money, things of marketing, and those type of issues. So I just wanted to know, would you come back and kind of give the listeners some kind of information about those deeper um, tangible assets that you actually have?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'd love to do that. And kind of, yeah, because I mean, I guess I could say that would be one of the questions that could have been asked.
Right.
But they're a lot, I could go a lot more in depth on that at that end.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I'd love to do that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Okay. So next time we'll come back in. For all those people who are listening now, Mason's going to come back and he's going to dive into the actual numbers of how to evaluate a property and where to look for it, and then where to get the money. So stay tuned. We'll be back with Mason, and Mason's going to actually dig down into the actual assets of real estate investing. Great to have you guys on today. We'll be back. I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for having me.